You guys, I've gotten so many requests for this video, and so I'm finally putting it together for you today. I'm gonna answer all of your questions that you have so you can get set up to properly sell and ship your vintage items online. All right, so in this video, we're gonna cover the 4 things that you need to know to get started selling and shipping online. 1, I'm going to show you the supplies that you need to get started. And then 2, we're gonna talk about how do you take people's money? How do you get paid for the stuff that you sell online? 3, I'm gonna show you how to properly package an item so that it doesn't get damaged, or you do your best that it won't get damaged. And then 4, how do you actually get this thing shipped? We're out here in my shipping station, and if you're just getting started, it's okay if you don't have a shipping station set up. For years, I shipped everything from my kitchen table. So the first thing that you're gonna need, of course, is boxes. And I have boxes in a lot of various sizes. A lot of the boxes that I use over and over are 10 by 10 by 10 boxes, 12 by 12 by 12 boxes, or 12 by 12 by 6 boxes that are just a little bit shorter. I purchase my boxes from uline.com. You can also purchase them from Amazon, from Staples, from Office Depot. So you can get free priority mailboxes from the post office. You have to go to USPS.com and order them, but there's no cost to have them delivered to you. There are a variety of sizes available. I don't use a lot of these anymore because if you use this box, then you have to ship your item priority mail shipping, which is currently a more expensive shipping option. The box is free, that's great, but you're paying more to have that item shipped because it goes a little bit faster. And typically I ship my items the slower service. Again, we'll revisit that later. So this used to be a great kind of tool. I don't get a lot of these free boxes anymore. Also, they're pretty thin, so they're not great for really delicate vintage items. Let's talk a little bit more about box structure. I think it's totally okay to reuse boxes that you're getting in your own online shopping. Don't have a problem with that at all. So this is a Chewy box from my own Chewy delivery. This is a great box. It's still in good condition. It's a little bit bigger, so if I have a bigger item, this will be a great box to keep on hand. And I really don't think customers have an issue with receiving a box that has been used or has some other branding on it. I think most people know that's just kind of how small businesses are doing business. I don't see anything wrong with that. However, I do want to say, if you're going to reuse a box, make sure that it is still in very good condition. You guys, boxes get beaten up by these shipping carrier services. So you wanna make sure that all of their corners are still really nice and intact. If your used box has crushed corners, don't use it. And also, you wanna check to make sure that it's a nice sturdy box. Amazon boxes, you guys, are notoriously flimsy. Look at how flimsy this box is. It's very, very thin. Not all boxes are created equal. So I would not ship anything breakable in this flimsy Amazon box. Other items that you're going to need are packing tape. This is the exact brand that I use. You're gonna need some packing peanuts. Here's the very last of the ones that I have. And I like to use these biodegradable ones. 1, because they're better for the environment, and 2, because I do think they actually cushion items better than the styrofoam ones. These you can squeeze and kind of shove down and really make an item nice and tight. The styrofoam ones tend to just crack. I purchased these giant bags from uline.com. You can also get large bags at Office Depot. And the last thing that you're going to need is packing paper. Again, hey, reuse some packing paper if you want to, but please, please, please don't use newspaper. Nobody wants to open a box and have something wrapped in newspaper. It just is messy. You know, it gets all over your hands, and sometimes it rubs off on your item, the ink. It just kind of looks really cheap. Feel free to use just regular brown craft paper, packing paper. You can purchase packing paper like this. Just stay away from the newsprint. Lastly, I forgot bubble wrap. I go through a lot of bubble wrap, and I do like the bigger bubbles more than I like the smaller bubbles. You can get these giant rolls where the sheets are already perforated every 12 inches, so you just pull them off. Walmart, Amazon, Office Depot, always keep one of these on hand. So another handy supply that you don't need to get started, but you may consider if you're doing a lot of this, is a shipping label printer. I have the Dymo. This is the 4XL. These aren't cheap, you guys. These are a couple $100s, but it will print out the actual shipping label on a sticker, so then I can just stick it on the box. If you don't want to invest in one of these up front, not a problem. You can print your shipping label just on a regular printer at home on a piece of paper, cut it out and tape it on the box. On. You've got your supplies ready, and now you actually want to sell your items and you want to collect money. This is obviously going to be different than selling your items in your antique booth. You can't have people just mail you cash or check in the mail. So how are you going to get your money from people? It's not as complicated as you think. So essentially you need somebody online to process a payment for you. Now, if you want to sell your items through Etsy or through eBay, those platforms will do just that for you. They will take care of processing people's payments. They will pay the fees associated with that, and then they will give you your money after they do all of that for you. You don't have to set anything up. They kind of do that. You can also build your own online store using a platform like Shopify or Square. And through those platforms, you can also process a payment. That means someone can use a credit card or a debit card and they can purchase something from you. Maybe you're not quite ready for either of those steps yet. Maybe you just want to try selling a couple things, maybe on a Facebook Live. Maybe you've seen what's going on Instagram lately. So in those instances, you have two other options for how you can collect and process payment for people. One is you can set up a Venmo business account. Again, it has to be business. Two, you can set up a business PayPal account. Again, business PayPal account. Please, please, please do not use a personal PayPal account or a personal Venmo account to collect money from customers for items that you're selling online. If you are collecting money into just a personal PayPal account or a personal Venmo account, and that just dumps into your personal checking account, guess who really doesn't like that? The IRS. They don't like that. They don't want you doing that. They want your business money separated from your personal money. That really could get you into some trouble. Second, if you're running a business using those platforms on a personal level, you are violating the terms of service of those platforms. I'm seeing people doing this all over Facebook and Instagram. Instagram especially. It costs you zero money to set up a business PayPal or a business Venmo account. So why are people not doing that? Well, because when you use the business settings of both of those platforms, they do take a fee. PayPal takes between 2 to 3.5%. Venmo takes roughly about 2% because it's costing them money to run those transactions. And so they're taking a fee, just like eBay takes a fee, Etsy takes a fee, any place that runs a credit card, there's just a fee that's taken out of that. But you guys, it's 2 to 3.5%. It's just the cost of being in business. It's the cost of being legitimate. If you're that concerned about it, add $3 to $4 to the cost of what you're selling to cover that fee. When you sign up for business accounts with business Venmo or business PayPal, then you can get an accurate report at the end of the calendar year of actually what your business has generated. And you're gonna need that for your tax records. So if that sounds super scary, I promise it's not. Just go ahead from the start and decide to do it the right way that you're supposed to do it. It's going to work out better for you in the end. Another reason why you want to use the business parts of those platforms and not the personal parts is for your customers' protection. So flip the script and imagine that you're a customer and you want to buy something from a stranger online that you've never met. And you agree to send them some of your hard-earned money with the understanding that they're going to pack up your item and they're going to ship it to you and it's going to show up undamaged, unbroken, and on time. That's kind of a step of faith, right? Every other place that we shop online, if you use a credit card or if you pay with the business function of PayPal or Venmo, if something happens in that transaction, let's say if your item gets broken, if it never shows up, you have an option as a customer to file a dispute and get your money back. If you pay someone PayPal friends and family or personal Venmo, a seller on Instagram, and they never ship you your stuff, you are out of luck. you're not going to get that money back. You're never going to see it because you didn't go through the official business channels. So we as sellers should offer our customers the basic level of consumer protection that every other single online business is offering them. Pay the 2 to 3% fee to use the business platforms so your customers can have the consumer protections that they deserve. Once you have either a business PayPal or a business Venmo set up, you can do both. My personal preference is going to just be PayPal. When someone purchases something from you online, you can create an invoice and you can send it directly to them. So when someone purchases something from you, you can go up here to this pay and get paid. Tap that, and then you're gonna go right over here to create an invoice. And in this screen, here, create an invoice again. Here we are on the new invoice screen, and this is where you can type in your customer's email or their name. You can type in what they bought from you, like a brass trinket dish. Here was the price, here. And then down here to the right, you can add the shipping that you're going to charge them. Let's say we're going to charge them that much. And here is the total right here that they're going to owe you. Now, if you got their email and you were able to put their email here, then you just click send and they will get this invoice where they can pay in their email. Or you can click these 3 buttons right here, share link to invoice, and it will generate a link for you. You can copy this link and direct message it right to your customer in Facebook or Instagram, and they can open their invoice and pay that way. A PayPal business account is just my top recommendation for you. Again, you saw just how easy it is to create an invoice. Through that invoice, they can pay with a credit card, they can pay with a debit card, or they can pay with PayPal. Then you have a record of that payment. They have a record of that payment. If something goes wrong and the item doesn't ever get delivered, they can file a dispute. They're getting customer protections. And guess what? If you ship your item like you're supposed to and provide the tracking number, then you also qualify for PayPal seller protection, which can help you as a business just avoid those messy situations where sometimes things just get lost or messed up in the mail. So you've got your item paid for, you've collected the money, it's time for you to actually ship it. Let's walk through kind of best shipping practices, and we're gonna focus on breakable items because a lot of what we're selling online vintage is breakable. Non-breakable items, they're just easier to deal with. Just make sure they're protected. If it's something that are some linens or something that could get dirty, maybe slide it inside of a trash bag first, drop it in your box, and you're good to go. But if it's breakable, it takes a little more finesse to make sure that your items aren't gonna get damaged in transport. So I'm gonna pack up with you right now this great little ceramic dog statue, which is something that I just sold last night on a sale. So we're gonna start with wrapping him up nice and tight with a layer of this thick bubble wrap. Sometimes I'll wrap a second layer around if I can still feel some hard spots, and then wrapping that in packing paper. Paper really does help cushion it just a little bit more. And once that's nice and taped up, then we'll get our box ready to go. When you're picking a box, you don't want to get one that is huge. You want your item to be pretty snug in there, but still not touching the sides. If it's too big, that's going to leave too much room for everything to shake around. So we've got a layer of packing paper, peanuts, and then I usually take more packing paper and kind of create a little donut around whatever it is. The whole idea is you want this thing not to be able to move, not to be able to shimmy back and forth inside that box. So you're shoving peanuts down in there just to fill in all of those little cracks and crevices. Make sure that your item is really secure, give it a little jiggle, and if it's not moving around in the box, then you're good to go. We're going to finish it off with some more packing peanuts at the top and then tape it tightly shut. For bigger boxes, I often tape it across the top 2 to 3 times just to make sure it's really nice and secure. Okay, so we're on to step 4. You've got your item safely packed up, it's ready to go, your customer has paid for it. Now we're going to talk about how to actually get it on the way to them. And this is kind of a 2-part number 4. The first part, the question that I want to answer is, how do I know, what's this going to cost me and how much money do I charge the customer? So shipping rates have recently changed as of the past few months. And I will tell you, the service that I used almost exclusively now is through the post office, and it is a service called Ground Advantage. These are slow shipping times. It's not priority mail where they're going to fly it where it needs to go and it'll get there in 2 to 3 days. This is a ground service where it will be driven on a truck, and it can take up to 10 days, but in my experience, it usually takes 3 to 5 for most customers to get what I ship them. So this is going to be the most affordable option for you, and it is the one that I use. It also still comes with $100 worth of insurance. It used to not. That's great. So like if my cute little dog makes their way to the customer and it's been broken in transit, I can file on that insurance with the post office. And if I can show them in pictures that I packed the box properly, that it was properly cushioned, and the little guy arrived broken, they'll give me my money back. Where you are shipping from makes a big difference. If you live on a coast, if you live particularly north or particularly south, if you're down in Miami or upstate New York or Seattle or somewhere over in California, in general, your shipping, what it's going to cost you is going to be a little bit higher. Because if you live in California and you ship to someone in upstate New York, that's a long way for that package to travel. And they determine what they charge you based upon how large the box is, how much it weighs, and how far it's going. I'm fortunate because I live in Northwest Arkansas. We're kind of smack in the middle, so I can hit a lot of places around me for relatively inexpensive. The problem is you never know where the person buying from is going to be from, so you kind of have to plan for the most expensive option. So in general, this is what you need to keep in mind. If something weighs more than 1 pound, it's really hard to pay less than like $7 to ship it. So like, for example, this coffee mug, it weighs more than 1 pound. I could maybe ship this to Missouri for about $6.50 or $7. If you're shipping things that weigh less than 1 pound, so like maybe some pretty pillowcases or a small book, then you can ship things for about $4.99, $5.99. That's about the cheapest that you can get it these days. Now, you can go from this mug to like 4 mugs, so a bigger box, heavier, and maybe add $1 or $2 onto it. Like once you get kind of past that 1 pound mark, the rate of increase of cost is a little bit slower. All right, so knowing that, you've got to figure out what you're going to charge people. And you kind of have 2 options. You can try and charge people the full actual price that they're going to pay. Or you can just pick a price in your head that you think is going to be kind of close, and you can roughly charge that. I'm going to encourage you to go with option number 2. So what I'm seeing a lot of people doing online, let's go back to this coffee mug. Someone says, yes, I want this coffee mug. I want to buy this from you. You don't tell them what it's going to cost. Get it all the way packaged up. You go through that process. You use your supplies. You get it in the box. You weigh it, and you get a shipping quote, and you get some idea of what it's going to cost, and it's going to be $8. And maybe they only paid $6 for the mug. And so then you send them that invoice for $14, and they go, well, I don't want to pay that. Why am I paying $2 more to ship this mug than what it actually costs? And then they just ghost you and they don't pay you. That happens a lot, you guys, when you try to charge people full actual shipping prices. The number one rule of e-commerce is you've got to make it really, really easy for your customers. So if your customers don't know what their shipping cost is going to be, that's a hurdle a lot of people are not going to buy from you. So I definitely recommend that on the front end, you tell people, hey, here's what the shipping price is going to be. And that means that you're going to have to take a little bit of risk in your business. So I've done this a couple different ways. I have charged flat rate shipping based upon the number of items that you order from me. So if I host a live sale and someone purchased 1 item, it costs this much. If you purchase 2 items, I add a couple dollars more. 3 items, a couple dollars more. 4 items, I kind of have a max price. I've done that before. Now, the way I'm doing it is I just charge a flat rate shipping price of $5.99. Most things that I ship cost me more than $5.99. So I kind of add that amount into the price of the item. I factor that into my overall profit. But that's an appealing price for my customers. And then that way they always know, hey, if I buy something from you, it's going to cost me $5.99 to ship it. That way I'm not wasting my time packing up boxes and having people ghost me and not pay me for stuff. And the customers know what it's gonna cost. It just makes the whole thing a lot easier. $5.99 is a price that currently works for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for you. You are gonna have to try shipping a couple things to get an idea of, on average, what it about costs you. And I tell this to people all the time. It's hard to predict on the front end. But I promise you, once you ship 3 or 4 things, you're gonna get a really quick idea. Oh, that costs about this much. I charge $5.99. I have a seller that I helped who lives in upstate New York. They decided to charge $8.99 as their flat rate shipping because it just costs them more than it does me. That's fine. Whatever your number is, pick your number and stick to it. So now you've got an idea of what you're gonna charge your customers. Part number 2 is how to actually go buy that label and stick it on your box. What you absolutely do not need to do is pack up your box, drive to your local post office, walk in, wait in line, set it on the counter, have them weigh it and tell you what it's going to be. Please, please, please don't do that. You're gonna wind up paying significantly more than what you need to pay to ship that box. I'm gonna show you a free online platform right now that you can sign up with, and you can access cheaper commercial shipping prices through this platform. Welcome to pirateship.com. This is a free website that you can join. And Pirate Ship is not a shipping carrier, meaning Pirate Ship themselves are not the people that are picking up and delivering your boxes. But just like it reads right here, basically this website allows you to save up to 89% off of the post office and UPS retail services. So you do need to create an account. It's free. It does require you to have a debit or credit card on file to pay for the shipping labels that you purchase. And you also have to put in your address as the starting address. Other than that, though, there is no fee to use this. So we're going to go to this button right here that says create a single label. We'll click on that. And it's very easy, as you guys can see. We're going to just put sample name right here. And I have just found a random address online that we're going to use. And it'll even pull up an autofill. It will have your return address. You can come down here and you can pick if you happen to be using one of the priority mailboxes, if you're shipping with a mailer. Most of the time you're going to be using just a box. You're going to put the measurements of your box in, and then after you weigh your box, which you do need to get just an inexpensive postal scale. Let's say this box weighs 3 pounds, 3 ounces. We're going to scroll down here and we're going to click this big green button that says Get Rates. And on this screen, it's going to pull up all of our shipping options. So it automatically filters by the cheapest one. You can see that the cheapest service for this package and this weight and where the destination is actually UPS. I don't use UPS a ton just because I don't have a great local spot to drop off my UPS packages. But if you do, then a lot of times you can get great service with UPS. But here, right here, 7 cents more is that ground advantage rate with the post office that I talked about. Now, priority mail is just a little bit more, and priority mail is going to be faster. So if you want to purchase that, you certainly can. But this is the rate that I wind up using a lot, the ground advantage. And then you're just going to go down here and click Buy Label, and it will charge it to the credit or debit card that you have on file. I'm not going to buy this label because I don't want to get charged for a label that I don't need. But after you buy it, there's an option just to print it. If you have a label printer, you can use that. If you don't, then you can just print it on your regular printer paper, your regular printer, cut it to size, and tape it to your box. Package is packed. You've got your shipping label on it. If you have integrated Pirate Ship with your business PayPal account, then I believe it will auto-generate the tracking number, because all of these come with a tracking number, and it will load that into the order and it will email your customer with their tracking number. If it doesn't do that, you want to be sure. Just double check anyway, probably a good idea. Send your customer a message, copy and paste this tracking number that you can get from Pirate Ship. It's just good e-commerce standard practice that a customer gets a notice that their item's shipped and they get a tracking number to follow. Keep along with it. If you want now, you can drive this up to your local post office and drop it off on the counter, or you can head to the post office website, usps.com, and you can actually schedule a pickup where they will come and pick it up from your house. Okay, I hope this video was helpful for somebody out there. If you've got more questions, ask them down in the comments. If this video was helpful, please give it a like. Please drop me a thumbs up. You can also offer me a super thanks, which is a little tip for our channel. That's a way to just support the content that I provide for you guys here at Lost and Found. I really hope that maybe you have the confidence now to step out and try it. Hey, and you know what? It's okay to mess it up here or there. When I first started shipping things 8 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing. The more you do it, you're gonna figure it out pretty quick how this system works, and in no time, you're gonna be a pro. You guys are awesome. I'll see you again soon. Thanks so much for joining me today.